And I think we're back. I honestly do not know. So I am just gonna have
We
to
have enough
edit around.
soldiers
Ooh.
now to think about attacking the English and recovering their relic.
Well, that's the plan. Uh, Pt.4.
If you're getting ready to attack the English, I can help you out. Here, take this food and wood.
You could have used that to make up your own army, but then how would have I learned? And here we go. Let's get a... Let's just get slaughtering the peasants here. Like a good medieval army. Oh, yeah, I had gunpowder back during this. Yeah, that's the most important part. Hurry up. And here we... Oh, we lost one of our knights. Here we go. Use my last knight to scout for the last relic. Right, it's up on top of this hill. There it is. Okay, well, damage is done. We have nothing more to fear, so let's send this in. Why not? Let's just be a little smart here and move on. That's just another entrance, isn't it? You think they'd send troops out to try to help them? Where is he? There he is. Alright, there's still one more threat, lads. Everyone strike up here except for the monk who goes here. And I will set him to guard the monk. Makes sense. Monk looking after a knight looking after a priest. You never know. Games have failed for me in the past because there are stragglers left over. Doesn't look like it, but... Oh, no, there's still builders here, so there's still a small chance. God, he really isn't doing a good job in guarding. Love the size of the relic compared to the monk. Like, the monk clearly can't be like in great physical health, and he's could very well be very elderly. You can't really see the faces, but something tells me he's what, like 50? At least in his 40s. And he can just carry this around. Go on. I know he wants to. Well, at least he's acting like a proper medieval knight. Something, let's kill it. Or else I could have done it without even capturing any of the relics. Okay. Well, fair enough.
With the 3 relics now locked away safely in Scottish churches, men murmur that we are blessed by the heavens. Our army now stands a chance as we prepare for the final clash with the English. Scotland now has archers and knights of our own with which to meet Longshanks. We march south to Falkirk, where we will rendezvous with the army of William Wallace and plan our combined attack upon the English castle.
Okay. Let's wrap this up.
The only way we can hold the boggy lowlands around Falkirk is to build a castle and as many walls as we can construct in a short time. These fortifications will serve to protect our camp as we construct siege weapons with which to assault the English castle. Once the castle is constructed, Wallace himself has sworn to join our forces, and together we will attack Longshanks and his English troops.
Though not the Welsh and not the Welsh and the Scottish and the French ones.
The English could attack at any time. You have some walls already, but you should complete them as soon as you have enough stone.
It's gonna need a lot of workers. Let them set to defensive. This is the only one that can even remotely cause a challenge. Good thing that they built this town around all the natural resources required. I mean, it'd be a bit awkward otherwise.
If you have surplus resources of one type, you can sell them for gold at your market. You can then use the gold to buy what you need.
Trebach. I always just use these as excuses to know where the enemies are. You know, you build them and then you just leave them.
You can also build towers to defend your city. Units can garrison within a tower for defense and protection, and archers can even fire out of a tower.
Well, anyone can fire out of a tower because there's already people firing out of the tower. Okay, let's start building up those walls. Remember, this one just keeps on going.
To build a castle, you must first advance to the next age, the Castle Age.
No. I like the little flags there.
The advanced buttons let you set combat states for your soldiers. A defensive soldier will be less likely to attack an enemy that comes near him. Click a military
That's
unit,
not what it
then note the
does.
combat stance buttons on the
Stand
lower
ground
left
one,
corner
maybe.
of the screen. Using the advanced buttons, you can also order a soldier to patrol an area between 2 points and guard or follow another unit.
This was all pretty cool at the time, the way you can do all this. Nowadays, obviously everyone under the sun does this, but at least they should, because it's pretty useful stuff. Kid. Yeah, one thing about doing these videos I found.
Allow access to a new type of formation.
Talk.
For example, with a box formation, you can protect a weak unit such as a monk.
Okay. One thing, I got this game and I occasionally played it, but only after doing the videos was I like, well, this could give me an excuse to go through all of it. Be a hell of a long time, and I probably won't be able to. Like, there's probably going to be some missions that are just ridiculously too hard for me. And you know, if I'm not enjoying myself, if it gets too frustrating, well, obviously I'm going to quit. You know, I can do these anytime I like. But right now, this just seems enjoyable. Like I said in the Skyrim video, it was just fun to jump around like crazy. Right now it's fun to do the same mission I must have been doing since, Christ, I think it was 10 when this came out? Look, see right there, no ballistics, so until he stops, there's nothing that they can do. But it keeps them moving, and that's fine. If I'm right, there's a dead site here that eventually, a dead spot here that you're eventually gonna have to build like a tower at. Alright, I'm using up a lot of resources, so yeah, wheelbarrow, that's useful enough. Right, we need more stone. A lot more stone. And a little bit of gold. Wood. And even a fear. Hurry up. I don't have enough wood. No, we really don't have enough wood. Well, we should be able to... Yeah. Wait, what am I doing? That's what I'm doing. Probably helps if I do that as well. Sorry if I'm not talking a lot. I'm kind of zenning. And sorry if you hear my chair still squeaks like crazy. But I'm kind of fidgeting in it. I've been in it all day. Probably go out to the store after I make this. Hang out with some people online for a bit and call it a night. That's enough farms for now. Keep away from my walls. And look at that. This is why it never hurts to have a few units outside or near the wall
You
rather.
have enough resources to go to the castle age. You should do that soon.
Yep. Thank you for reminding me. He still has some uses. Yep. Huh. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear a weird little humming. Come on, guys. No lollygagging. No, I have this weird fear that I didn't turn the recording on, and I'm just been talking to myself, and I'm gonna have to redo everything, which is fine if that's the case. I'll put into the information if I did or not. If I did, though, I'm gonna leave it for another time. I could do with stretching my legs. God, they're getting very aggressive, aren't they? This will eventually wear down my defenses. Do you even have enough stone left to do that?
Congratulations. You're going to find lots of things to do in the castle age. For starters,
Steerters.
try building a siege workshop to make battering rams and other siege weapons.
No, I'm gonna build a castle. And then I'll build a thingamajig. One of them thingamajigs with the wigs. Yeah. Bodkin arrows, very useful. But now we need more food. It's always like off by 1 or 2. It's pretty annoying. Heavy plow, good stuff. And now we should have good stream of stone coming in now. Let's wrap the mine as well. After this, getting resources is going to be a bitch. I mean, they're there, but first
You
things
may
first.
need to assign extra villagers to gather stone so you'll have enough to build the castle and all the fortifications you'll need.
I know what I'm doing. Did he upgrade there? Yeah. See, there's the armor. And yeah, didn't I say that they'd do this eventually? Little bastards. And longbows, I think, have much longer range than right, here's one goal. And you guys start hitting the type one. They're anti horse. There we are. Good stuff. Okay, let's build our first castle. It should be right here, which makes no sense when you look at it. It would literally open up onto a wall, but